I like to do diverse reading when I do these videos, so I'd like to do different types of books. Bridget Jones is a film I actually do enjoy. I do enjoy the series. I like her vulnerability. I like her honesty. So it always comes across as very endearing qualities indeed. Um, Now, me reading this, of course, it's supposed to be from a female's perspective. So there's two issues here, which I'm not going to change. I'm not going to try and put a female voice on. That'd be ridiculous. Second of all, I'm not going to try and change the wording on the fly to make it relevant to me. So if it says about boyfriends, that's not really good. But I can't do much about that. I can't turn that into girlfriends because you'd be changing everything as you go, and it's like a full-on edit. So we're just going to have to do it as it is. I haven't What's the hair there? I haven't pre-done anything really prepared. I just had a little brief look at the very first section. But that's about it really. So anyway, but we'll just start with that. Hopefully it's not a train wreck. We'll just see how we get on. New Year's resolutions. I will not drink more than 14 alcohol units a week, smoke, waste money on pasta makers, ice cream machines, or other culinary devices which we'll never use, books by unreadable literary authors to put impressively on shelves, exotic underwear, since pointless as have no boyfriend, behave sluttishly around the house, but instead imagine others are watching, spend more than earn, allow in-trade to rage out of control, fall for any of the following: alcoholics, workaholics, commitment phobics, people with girlfriends or wives, misogynists, megalomaniacs, chauvinists, emotional fuckwits, or freeloaders, perverts. Get annoyed with mum, get upset over men but instead be poised and cool ice queen. Have crushes on men but instead form relationships based on mature assessment of character. Bitch about anyone behind their backs but be positive about everyone. Obsess about Daniel Cleaver as pathetic to have a crush on. Boss in manner of Miss Moneypenny or similar. Sulk about having no boyfriend, but develop inner poise and authority and sense of self as women of substance, complete without boyfriend, as best way to obtain boyfriend. I will stop smoking, drink no more than 14 alcohol units a week, reduce circumference of thighs by 3 inches, purge flat of all extraneous matter, give all clothes which have not worn for 2 years or more to homeless, improve career, find new job with potential, save up money in form of savings, post start pension also, be more confident, be more assertive, make better use of time. Not go out every night but stay in, read books, listen to classical music. Give proportion of earnings to charity, be kinder and help others more. Eat more pulses, get up straight away when wake up in mornings, go to gym 3 times a week, not merely to buy a sandwich, put photographs in photograph albums, make up compilation mood tapes so you can have tapes ready with all favourite romantic, dancing, rousing, feminist, etc. tracks assembled, instead of turning into drink-sodden DJ-styled person with tapes scattered all over floor. Form functional relationship with responsible adult. Learn to program video. January. An exceptionally bad start. Right, I'm just going to say, it's starting off with a freaking, it's going to be a bit awkward to read. It's almost like a freaking, it's like ingredients and a whole spiel there. So we're just going to skip the very beginning part because that was just a load of nonsense. Noon, London, my flat. The last thing on earth I feel physically, emotionally, or mentally equipped to do is drive to Una and Jeffrey Olkenberry's New Year's Day turkey curry buffet in Grafton Underwood. Jeffrey and Una Alconbury are my parents' best friends, and Uncle Jeffrey never tires of reminding me, have known me since I was running around the lawn with no clothes on. My mother rang up at 8:30 in the morning last August bank holiday, forced me to promise to go. She approached it very cunningly. Oh, hello, darling. I was just ringing to see what you wanted for Christmas. Christmas? Would you like a surprise, darling? No, I bellowed. Sorry, I wondered if you'd like to set a wheels for your suitcase. But I haven't got a suitcase. Why don't I get you a little suitcase with wheels attached, like air hostess have? I've already got a bag. Oh, darling, you can't go around with that tatty green canvas thing. You look some sort of Mary Poppins person who's fallen on hard times. Just a little compact case with a pull-out handle. It's amazing how much you can get in. Do you want it in navy red or red on navy? Mum, it's 8:30 in the morning. It's summer. It's very hot. I don't want an air hostess bag. Julie Endenby's got one. She says they never use anything else. Who's Jelly Endenby? You know Julie, darling. Mavis Endenbury's daughter. Julie. The one that's got that super duper job at Arthur Anderson. Mum, always take it on her trips. I don't want a little bag with wheels on. I'll tell you what. Why don't Jamie, Daddy, and I all club together, get you a proper new big suitcase and a set of wheels? Exhausted, I had the phone away from my ear, puzzling about where the missionary luggage Christmas gift zeal would stem from. When I put the phone back, she was saying, in actual fact, you can get them with a compartment with bottles for your bubble bath and things. The other things I thought of was a shopping trolley. Is there anything you'd like for Christmas? I said, desperately blinking in the dazzling bank holiday sunlight. No, 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 she said airily. I've got everything I need now, darling, she suddenly hissed. You will be coming to Geoffrey and Una's New Year's Day turkey curry buffet this year, won't you? Actually, I panicked wildly. What could I pretend to be doing? Think I might have to work on New Year's Day? That doesn't matter. You can drive up after work. Oh, did I mention Malcolm and Elaine Darcy are coming and bringing Mark with them? Do you remember Mark, darling? He's one of those top-notch barristers, masses of money. Divorced. It doesn't start till 8. Oh, God. Not another strangely dressed opera freak with bushy hair burgeoning from a side parting. Mum, I've told you I don't need to be fixed up with. Now come on, darling. Una and Geoffrey have been holding the New Year buffet since you were running around the lawn with no clothes on. Of course you're going to come, and you'll be able to use your new suitcase. 11:45 p.m. Oh, first day of New Year has been day of horror. Could not quite believe I am once again starting the year in a single bed in my parents' house. It is so humiliating at my age. I wonder if they'll smell if I have a fag out the window, having skulked at home all day, hoping hangover would clear. Eventually gave up and set off for the turkey curry buffet for far too late. When I got to the Aukenberries and rang their entire tune of town hall clock-style doorbell, I was still in a strange world of my own. Nauseous, vile headache, acidic. Was also suffering from road rage residue after inadvertently getting on to the M6 instead of the M1, having to drive halfway to Birmingham before I could find anywhere to turn round. So furious, I kept jamming my foot down on the floor on the accelerator pedal to give vent to my feelings, which is very dangerous. I watched resignedly as Una Aukenbury's form, intriguingly deformed through the Ripley glass door, bore down on me in a fuchsia two-piece. Bridget! We'd almost given you up for lost. Happy New Year. Just about to start without you. She seemed to manage to kiss me, get my coat off, hug it over the banister, wipe her lipstick off my cheek, and make me feel incredibly guilty all in one movement, while I leaned against the ornament shelf for support. Sorry, I got lost. Lost? Duh. What are we going to do with you? Come on in. She led me through the frosted glass doors into the lounge, shouting, She got lost, everyone! Bridget, Happy New Year, said Geoffrey Aukenbury, clad in a yellow diamond-plaited sweater. He did a jokey Bruce Forsyth step, then gave me the sort of hug which Boots would send straight to the police station. Humph, he said, going red in the face and pulling his trousers up by the waistband. Which junction did you come off at? Junction 19, but there was a diversion. Junction 19. Oh, Una, she came off at Junction 19. You've added an hour to your journey before you even started. Come on, let's get you a drink. How's your love life anyway? Oh, God. Why can't married people understand that this is no longer a polite question to ask? We wouldn't rush up to them and roar, "How's your marriage going? Still having sex?" Everyone knows dating in your 30s is not that happy-go-lucky free-for-all it was when you were 22, and that the honest answer is more likely to be, Actually, last night my married lover appeared wearing suspenders and darling little Angora crop top, told me he was a gay, a sex addict, no, narcotic addict, a commitment phobic, and beat me up with a dildo. Then, super thanks. Not being a natural liar, I ended up mumbling shamefacedly to Jeffrey, "Fine." At which point he boomed, "So you still haven't got a fella?" "Bridget, what are we going to do with you?" said Una. "You career girls, I don't know. I can't put it off forever. You know, tick, tick, tock, tick." I mean, I've got to make sure it's definitely her speaking because it gets confusing. Oh. This is the problem with reading, for instance. You have to know who the hell's talking, and it's going to be hard for me. I'm going to just have to wing it. Yes. How does a woman manage to get to your age without being married? Lord Brian Endenbury, married to Mavis, used to be president of the Rotary in Kettering, waving his sherry in the air. Fortunately, my dad rescued me. "Very pleased to see you, Bridget," he said, taking my arm. "Your mother has the entire Northamptonshire Constabulary poised to comb the county, with toothbrushes for your dismembered remains. Come and demonstrate your presence so I can start enjoying myself." How's the bewildered suitcase? Big beyond sense. How are the hair clippers? Oh, marvellously, Clippy. It was all right, I suppose. I would have felt a bit mean if I hadn't turned up, but Mark Darcy, yuck. Every time my mother's rung up for weeks, it's been, "Of course you remember the Darcys, darling. They came over when we were living in Buckingham, and you and Mark played in the paddling pool." Or, oh, oh, did I mention Malcolm and Elaine are bringing Mark with them to Una's New Year's Day turkey curry buffet? Just back from America, apparently, divorced, looking for a house in Holland Park. Apparently, he had the most terrible time with his wife, Japanese, very cruel race. Then, next time, as if out the blue, "Do you remember Mark Darcy, darling? Malcolm and Elaine's son. One of those super duper top notch lawyers, divorced. Elaine says he works all the time, terribly lonely. I think he might be coming to Una's New Year's Day turkey curry buffet, actually." I don't know what she did, why she didn't just come out with it and say, "Darling, do shag Mark Darcy over the turkey curry, why don't you? Very rich. Come along and meet Mark." Una sing song before I'd even had time to get a drink down me. Being set up with a man against your will is one level of humiliation, but being literally dragged into it by Una Alconbury while caring for an acidic hangover, watched by an entire room full of friends of your parents, is on another plane altogether. The rich divorced by a cruel wife, Mark, quite tall, standing with his back to the room, scrutinising the contents of the Alconbury's bookshelves, mainly leather-bound series of books about the Third Reich, which Jeffrey sends off for Reader's Digest. It struck me as pretty ridiculous to be called Mr. Darcy, and to stand on your own looking snooty at a party. It's like being called Heathcliff and insisting on spending the entire evening in the garden, shouting "Cafe!" and banging your head against a tree. "Mark," said Una, as if she was one of Santa's fairies. "Someone nice for you to meet." He turned round, revealing what had seemed from the back like a harmless navy sweater was actually a V-neck diamond pattern in shades of yellow and blue, as favoured by the more elderly of the nation's sports reporters. As my friend Tom often remarked, it's amazing how much time and money can be saved in the world of dating by close attention to detail. A white sock here, a pair of red braces there, grey slip-on shoe, swastika. As often as not, all one needs to tell you, there's no point writing down phone numbers, forking out expensive lunches because it's never going to be a runner. "Mark, this is Colin and Pam's daughter Bridget," said Una, going all pink and fluttery. "Bridget works in publishing, don't you, Bridget?" "I do indeed," I for some reason said, as if I were taking part in Capital Radio phone-in, was about to ask Una if I could say hello to my friends Jude, Sharon and Tom, my brother Jamie, everyone in the office, my mum and dad. And last of all, the people at the turkey curry buffet. Well, I leave you two young people together, said Una. Do I expect you sick to death of us old fuddly-duddies? Not at all, said Mark Darcy awkwardly with a rather unsuccessful attempt at a smile, at which Una, after rolling her eyes, putting a hand to her bosom, giving a gay, tinkling laugh, abandoned us with a toss of her head to a hideous silence. Are you reading any, have you read any good books lately? He said. Oh, for God's sake. I racked my brain frantically to think what I last read a proper book. The trouble with working in publishing is that reading in your spare time is a bit of like being a dustman and snuffling through the pig bin in the evening. I'm halfway through Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which Jude lent me. I didn't think Mark Darcy, though clearly odd, was ready to accept himself as a Martian quite yet. Then I had a brainwave. Backlash, actually, by Susan Faludi, I said triumphantly. Ha ha. I haven't exactly read it as such, but feel I have as Sharon has been ranting about it so much. Anyway, completely safe option. There's no way diamond patterned jumpered goody goody would have read 500-page feminist treatise. Ah, really? He said. I read that when it first came out. Didn't you find there was a lot of special pleading? Oh well, not too much, I said wildly, racking my brains for a way to get off this subject. Have you been staying with your parents over New Year? Yes, he said eagerly. Yeah, you too? Yes, no, I was at a party in London last night. Bit hungover, actually. I gabbled nervously so that Una and Mum wouldn't think I was so useless with men I was failing to talk to even Mark Darcy. But I do think New Year's resolutions can't technically be expected to begin on New Year's Day, don't you? Because it's an extension of New Year's Eve. Smokers already on a smoking roll and cannot be expected to stop abruptly on the stroke of midnight with so much nicotine in their system. Also, dieting on New Year's Day isn't a good idea as you can't eat rationally, but really need to be free to consume whatever is necessary, moment by moment, in order to ease your hangover. I think I'd be very much more sensible if resolutions began genuinely in January the 2nd. Maybe you should get something to eat, he said, then suddenly bolted off towards the buffet, leaving me standing on my own by the bookshelf, while everybody stared at me thinking, so that's why Bridget isn't married. She repulses men. The worst of it was that Una Aukenbury and Mum wouldn't leave it at that. They kept making me walk around with trays of gherkins and glasses of cream sherry in a desperate bid to throw me into Mark Darcy's path yet again. In the end, they were so crazed with frustration, the second I got within 4 feet of him with the gherkins, Una threw herself across the room like Will Carling and said, Mark, you must take Bridget's telephone number before you go. Then you can get in touch when you're in London. I couldn't stop myself turning bright red. I could feel it climbing up my neck. Now Mark would think I'd put her up to it. I'm sure Bridget's life in London is quite full enough already, Mrs. Aukenbury, he said. Not that I wanted him to take my phone number or anything, but I didn't want him to make it perfectly obvious to everyone that he didn't want to. As I looked down, I saw that he was wearing white socks with a yellow bumblebee motif. Can't I tempt you with a gherkin? I said to show I had a genuine reason for coming over, which was quite definitely gherkin based rather than phone number related. Thank you, no, he said, looking at me with some alarm. Sure, stuffed olive. I pressed on. No, really. Silver skin onion. I encouraged. Beetroot cube. Thank you, he said desperately, taking the olive. Hope you enjoy it, I said triumphantly. Towards the end, I saw him being harangued by his mother and Una, who marched him over towards me and stood just behind while he said stiffly, Do you need driving back to London? I'm staying here, but I could get my car to take you. What, all on its own? I said. He blinked at me. Duh. Mark has a company car and a driver, silly, said Una. Thank you, that's very kind, I said. But I shall be taking one of my trains in the morning. 2 a.m. Oh, why am I so unattractive? Why? Even a man who wears bumblebee socks thinks I'm a horrible. Hate the new year. Hate everyone except Daniel Cleaver. Anyway, I've got giant tray-sized bar of Cadbury Dairy Milk left over from Christmas on a dressing table. Also amusing joke, gin and tonic miniature. I'm going to consume them and have fag. Tuesday, 3rd of January, 9 a.m. Could not face thought of going to work. Only thing which makes it tolerable is thought of seeing Daniel again. But even that is inadvisable since I'm fat, spot on chin, and desire only to sit on cushion eating chocolate and watching Christmas specials. It seems wrong and unfair that Christmas, with its stressful and unmanageable financial and emotional challenges, should be first be forced upon one wholly against one's will, then rudely snatched away just when one is starting to get into it. I was really beginning to enjoy the feeling that normal service was suspended and it was okay to lie in bed as long as you want. Put anything you fancy into your mouth and drink alcohol whenever it should chance to pass your way, even in the mornings. Now suddenly we're all supposed to snap into self-discipline like lean teenage greyhounds. 10 p.m. P- Perpetua, slightly senior and therefore thinking she is in charge of me, was at her most obnoxious and bossy, going on and on to point of utter boredom about latest £500,000 property she is planning to buy with her rich but overbred boyfriend, Hugo. Yars, yars. Well, it's north facing, but they've done something frightfully clever with the light. I looked at her wistfully, her vast, bulbous bottom swathed in a tight red skirt with a bizarre 3/4 length striped waistcoat strapped across it. What a blessing to be born with such slovenly arrogance. Perpetua could be the size of a Renault Espace and not give it a thought. How many hours, months, years have I spent worrying about weight while Perpetua has been happily looking for lamps with porcelain cats as bases around the Fulham Road? She's missing out on a sort of happiness anyway. It's proved by surveys that happiness does not come from love, wealth, or power, but the pursuit of attainable goals. And what is a diet if not that? On way home, in end of Christmas denial, I bought a packet of cut price chocolate tree decorations and a £3.69 bottle of sparkling wine from Norway, Pakistan, or similar. I guzzled them by the light of the Christmas tree, together with a couple of mince pies, the last of the Christmas cake and some Stilton, while watching EastEnders. Imagining it was a Christmas special, now though I feel ashamed and repulsive. I can actually feel the fat splurging out from my body. Never mind. Sometimes you have to sink to a nada of toxic fat envelopment in order to emerge phoenix-like from the chemical wasteland as purged and beautiful Michelle Pfeiffer figure. Tomorrow, new Spartan health and beauty regime will begin. Daniel Cleaver, though, loved his wicked, dissolute air while being very successful and clever. He was very funny today, telling everyone about his aunt thinking the Onyx kitchen roll holder his mother had given her for Christmas was a model of a penis. Was really very amused about that. Also asked me if I got anything nice for Christmas in a rather flirty way. Think might wear a short black skirt tomorrow. Just see how long we got left because it does go on. I think probably leave it there because it's just going. Some sections are a little bit wordy, especially at the beginning, and I just don't know how far this is going on. Yeah, it's actually the way the book is structured is very strange. It's because obviously Bridget Jones's diary, the whole thing is a diary, which is like it makes chapter separation incredibly hard because like is a chapter every day or? But yeah, it's really the way it's written is very strange. But like I say, because her life is so disorganized, it just makes her and the fact that she wears her vulnerability on her sleeve, which um, makes her real. And I just think it's those like quirks that make people endearing, personally, because it sets them apart. Whereas everybody's trying to be copies of each other. I don't want to go on a huge tangent here, but too many people they try to mirror each other, copy each other. They're just unoriginal, and it's the originality that makes people stand out. And I think that's why there's an awful lot of people adore Bridget. And I think if people just looked at that in life, for instance, and you looked at that, and in general, you think you're going to have a better quality of life by living like that than you would by trying to mirror someone else. So people should stop trying to be a copy of someone else and literally just appreciate yourself for who you are, wear your heart on your sleeve, and just be you. And people will gravitate to you for it.